Welcome to this Google Apps screencast where we'll get started using Google Calendar. So here I am in Google Calendar. Make this full screen so we can see things a little bit better here. I'm logged into my Google account. I know that because I look in the top right. I see my account that I'm logged in with. This black bar is typical across the top of many of Google's tools. And over here on the left side is the menu of the different tools that you have access to with your Google account, one of which should be Calendar. If you don't see it here, it might be under the More menu. When you come to Google Calendar, it might look similar to this. I just want to kind of give a little overview of the layout here. So up here at the top, you have your different views for how you can look at your calendar. I'm currently in month view. You can click on week view, you can click on day view, so on and so forth. There's a few other choices there as well. I personally like month view. There's a little settings drop-down menu here, and if you're working in Chrome, for sure this works in Chrome, other browsers you might not notice a difference. When you click on the settings wheel, you get a choice of 3 different levels of density, meaning how the space is filled on screen when you're in Google Calendar. Right now I'm in comfortable view, which just means everything's a little spread out. If I choose the other end of the spectrum here, if I choose compact, you'll see that everything got a little more tighter. The menus got a little closer together. You got a little bit more space in your actual calendar view. So your choice on which one you want for that. Again, you probably only notice that in Chrome. Down the left side is there's a create button here where you can create events. There's a mini calendar, and you can hide these things. If you notice a little arrow, just like in Google Docs, you notice a little arrow here, you can hide those things. So there's a little mini calendar of the current month you're looking at. There's the My Calendars area. These are any calendars you have created or that you have full rights to. And under Other Calendars, there's other calendars that you might have subscribed to. There's some default ones here. If I click on US Holidays as an example, you'll see when I do click on the name of a calendar, it does show those events. It lights up the color as well as puts those events on screen. So this is just a generic US Holidays calendar that's built into Google Calendar. With these calendars here that I have one for my class. So brown, anything that's brown is my 8th grade new media class. Turn that off just because I don't need to see it right now. My work calendar that I use for myself is the green stuff. So if I click on that, the name of that calendar, it shows all the different things on my work calendar. Google Calendar, if you're working in Google Apps, comes with a default calendar with your name. So I don't currently have anything on this calendar. Let's go ahead and show how to add an event. Let's say I have a meeting next week and I want to put it on my calendar. I click on the day, so I'm going to go ahead and click on the 21st. And just like it says here in the example, right below the quick add box, you can actually type out a time. So let's say my meeting was at 2 p.m. next week. I would say 2 p.m. space Tech Coach meeting. And before I hit create event, you can choose which calendar you want that to go on. So I'm going to leave that on the Chad Kafka calendar just as an example and hit create event. So there, it added with the time the event to that date. Let's say you just want to add something that's going to happen on a certain day. That would be a full day event. So let's say I was working or I was planning for my class and I knew that we were going to do a test next Friday. I would click on the day and I would write chapter 2 test. Again, I would choose which calendar, hit create, and when you do a full day event, it actually puts the event in a colored box. So notice these are both blue. The calendar these are going on are blue, just like the other ones were color coded. So anything that was brown was my 8th grade new media class. Anything that was green is my personal work calendar. So you can create as many calendars as you want. So let's show that next. Let's say you're working with a team and you all want to have access to the same calendar. One of you on the team would create a calendar. To do this, you go up by My Calendars, and when you mouse over it, there's a little options arrow here. I'm going to click that options arrow, and I'm going to choose Create New Calendar. I'm going to name the calendar. Let's say I was making this for my Tech Coach team. So yeah, we'll put Tech Coach team on there. You might do this for your department, your math department, your science department. You might make a class calendar for a class you teach that you eventually publish so kids can see the events. Your choice. So you give the calendar a name. You can do a description if you want. You can do a location if you want. If you move down this page, you can actually add other people that are in the Google Apps domain that you're in. So let's say I wanted to add the other tech coaches. I start typing their names and I click on them when they appear. And you'll see each of them was added. You also, because you're the calendar creator, get the choice of what those people can do on that calendar. So right now it's set to only see the events. you can change these drop downs to give them more rights. So I want them to be able to make changes and also manage the sharing. That's the full rights to the calendar. So I'm going to choose those options. And if I made a mistake, I added someone or I needed to take someone off a calendar, you could come back in here and you could also click the little trash can to remove them. So that's how you add people onto the calendar. So I'm going to go ahead and create that calendar. Now you'll notice the calendar got added. It got added as the color green. Maybe I don't like green as the choice. I can mouse over any of these calendars and I get options for that calendar. So I can click on that little arrow for the Tech Coach Team calendar. Let's say I choose red. So now any events that I put on that calendar for me will be red. When this is shared to your other teammates, they might make it a different color for them. This is all personalized just to you. So as a team, let's say we're going to have a training on the 25th. Google training. I go ahead and type that. Now I have to make sure that I add that to the correct calendar. So I choose calendar, the little drop down here, and I choose the Tech Coach Team calendar. I hit create, and that got added. Let's say you make a mistake and you put something on a wrong calendar. You can click on an event once it's on your calendar. And when you do that, you get the choice to edit the event. And when you go to the edit event, this is where there's a lot more choices. This is where you can make events repeat over a certain number of days. You can make something, maybe it's not a 1 hour meeting, maybe it's a 4 hour meeting. You can actually click in here and choose different times. You can put a location. You can actually color your individual events as well if you're just using one calendar. I recommend sticking to the color of the calendar just if you're using multiple calendars, it doesn't get too confusing. You can also decide if there should be reminders or not, so you can turn those on or off, and you can save those changes when you're done. So if I did make a mistake and put something on the wrong calendar, I could come in here and change it to the other calendar, hit save, and now that event that I added is on the correct calendar. So all different things you can do. It's a great organizational tool. Highly recommend you check it out, and thanks for watching.